All right. Well, you saw earlier in the week the main leg workout. Well, this is the pump workout. So, as you all know, or probably don't, but I'm going to educate you today. I'm following reps in reserve, right? So, reps in reserve is basically, like I said, for me, RPE in reverse. So, what I'm doing is that I'm working to a reps in reserve for most exercises of about 3 to 0, right? So for warm-up sets like this, where I just seem to go on like the Energizer Bunny, I'm doing a reps in reserve. I did a reps in reserve of about, say I would be about 3, right? 3 or more. Now I'm hitting failure on some of my work sets, right? Or 2 in particular. So when I get to those work sets, I'm around about, say, reps in reserve of about 0, because that pad will not budge. So I think with this first one, got around about 10 to 12. And I'm just aiming for a full squeezing contraction, controlling the negative, pushing my hips down into the pad. Again, I start off all my leg workouts like this, but again, RIR 3 equates to about an RPE 8, which for some, depending upon your strength level, may be a warm-up. I think I failed around about 9 here, so that was a RIR of about 1 or 0. So as you can see, the scale, at least in the way that I'm using it, is relatively subjective. Moving on to the adductor exercise. For this, I had planned not to go by a RPE scale, and I'm going to tell you why. Adductors are involved in essentially every major leg movement that you do, right? So they can be easily overtrained. So I initially wasn't going to try to go to an RIR 1 or 0, really even a 2, right? But what ended up happening is that after I got warmed up, I felt pretty good. So I decided to do some failure sets and just try to grow my adductors a little bit more. So with that, I hit 2 additional work sets and really went for volume on my feeder sets that were above the rep range of 8 for this exercise. So for my work sets, I failed around about 10 to 12, so that was definitely an RIR of 0 or 1. But again, I didn't want to push it that much with this because, like I said, they're involved in every major leg movement and they can easily get overtrained. Adductors are your keys to big legs, right? So it's something that you should probably do at least once on a regular basis. If you're one of the fellas, if you're one of the ladies, you're probably already doing this machine, which is great, but instead of just doing it for one plate, thinking you're doing something, pile on 160 pounds plus, do it for reps, do it repeatedly, and watch your legs flourish. These also prevent injury and also give the illusion of a much, much bigger leg, because once your inner thighs are developed, inner thighs and hamstrings are something that can create the illusion of huge legs. So keep that in mind when you're training. RIR of 0 on this exercise. This is the leg extension. This is something I've been avoiding for a long time, but I've been regularly getting back to it, just because they put a little bit of pressure on my knee. But if I get in some good warm-up sets, then I can go ahead and go for broke on them. There's really nothing more to say on this exercise. I was supposed to do a little bit more. The plan was to do leg extensions, leg press, then pendulum squat. But I ended up just doing for quads just leg extension and leg press, and then kept in mind that I did do a lot of direct quad work earlier in the week. Excuse me. Did a lot of direct quad work earlier in the week. So that kind of made it mentally better for me to deal with a reduction in exercises and a reduction in sets for my quad work, because usually I'm kind of down and out about having to cut my quad workout short, or things of that nature. So I didn't feel too bad about that today. So I wanted to move on to the leg press, and I wanted to talk about my set performance for these, particularly for this exercise. I've been changing up my performance on the leg press, right? So I've been trying to keep my feet a little bit more straight, but I got some rotation issues in my hips, so we'll get to that at some point. But really trying to hit the quads more, so my feet are lower on the platform. I'm going for a fuller range of motion, almost exaggerated depending upon who you ask, and really just trying to put all the pressure on my quads. So reason for that is that I just need better leg development, so I've had to take the ego out of me leg pressing and just kind of humble myself. And there's still room for improvement. Not to say that there isn't, but there is. My foot placement. Looking at this video, the way my feet look on that platform versus how I perceive them to be, it's kind of bothering me. I hope I'm not an entry waiting to happen. But my feet look almost as bad as RG3's when he was doing that jumping show at the combine, because his knees caved in, his feet caved in, everything looked terrible. So now that I'm looking at the tape, I look a little terrible too. But in any event, I wanted to definitely control the negative. I wanted to explode up, and I wanted to go deep as possible. So it's going to take some unlearning. It's going to take some, I wouldn't say low poundages, but it's going to take some poundages that I would generally consider quote unquote a warm up. I will say, after working on Big Bertha, that's the Arsenal strength leg press, for a little while, these hammer strength leg presses, they feel incredibly light. So that's all I got for today. Always keep your feet low on the platform for leg press, and always keep your standards for leg training high. All right. Well, you guys take care. Hope to hear and see and hear from all of you. Give a like to my page, subscribe to my page, and I'll be bringing out more content. All right. Y'all have a great one. Thanks, guys.